You say if this happened to you, you'd hang your head in shame, you'd run away and disappear. You'd never show your face again. But you don't hear what you're saying, you don't see what it reveals. Your lack of self-awareness shows the weakness that you conceal. You think shame is something you can hand me, like a weight I have to bear. But you don't know the road I've walked, or the battles waiting there. You don't know the nights I've conquered, you don't know the tears I've cried. You only see the person standing, you never saw the battles inside. This is resilience, this is the fire that remains. This is a heart that kept on beating through unimaginable pain. I have carried what no parent should ever have to know. I buried part of my own heart and still found the strength to grow. So say what you want, let the whispers remain. I'll survive what breaks most people. You can't make me wear your shame. You thought my scars meant I was broken, you thought my tears meant I was weak, but you never saw the courage it took to rise each week. You thought I'd fade into the silence, you thought I'd surrender my voice. But every morning that I rise again is a reminder of my choice. Because strength is not the absence of the pain that you've been through. Strength is carrying the pieces and still finding something true. This is resilience, this is the strength you can't erase. This is the light that keeps on shining when darkness fills the space. I have walked through fire and darkness, I have faced the parents' greatest fear, but the love that lives forever is the reason I am here. So bring your mind game, bring your mind game, bring every word you say, every word you say. They are smaller than the mountains I have climbed along the way. You thought if I stayed I was broken, you thought leaving was the only way. But you never knew the courage it took to face another day. You wanted me to carry shame, wanted me to hide, but I have already survived the storm that changed my entire life. This is resilience, not just a word, it's who I am. It's every scar and every tear. Every time I chose to stand, I lost a piece of my own heart, but I never lost my soul. The pain became a part of me, but it never took control. You can talk, you can judge, you can smile, read my name, but I'm still here. I am still standing, and I will not leave. This is resilience, this is my story, this is my strength. Still breathing, still loving, still rising, still rising. You say if this happened to you, you'd hang your head in shame. You turn your cameras on again, Same old script, same old pretend. Another night, another blame, another thumb there with my name. You say you're done, then here we go, round and round the same old show. If silence came, what would you be without your obsession with me? You think I'm listening, hanging on every word, but while you're talking, I'm living every dream you've never heard. You don't get my story, you don't get my song, you don't get to ride where my heart belongs. You wanted the world to see me through your eyes. The truth keeps rising, no matter how you try. I'm building a life, you're building another rumor. I'm counting my blessings, you're counting my viewers. God keeps opening doors no one can close, while you keep chasing shadows. I keep growing. 7 years and nothing's changed. Different titles, same old game. Every road you choose to take still circles back to my name. You say you know me, but you never knew my heart. You only know the picture you kept pulling apart. I stopped carrying the weight you tried to give. You chose to stay angry. I chose to live. You don't get my story. You don't get my story. You don't get my song. You don't get to decide where I belong. Where I belong. You wanted my family, broken, my voice erased, but love is stronger than bitterness and hate. I'm building tomorrow. We're reliving yesterday. Every time you speak my name, you only prove my strength. I won't become what you became. I won't spend my life looking through somebody else's window. I've got children laughing, I've got dreams waiting. I've got a son whose light still shines inside my heart. I've got work to do, people to love, hope to build. That's where you'll never find me living in hate. You don't get my story, you don't get my end. Every stone you threw became another step I'm standing on. Every lie you whispered couldn't drown the truth. Every door you tried to close, not open, so keep saying my name. If that's all you got left, I keep building love. I'll keep building faith. I'll keep building a life that speaks louder than the noise. And one day, when the noise finally fades, I still have my family, I still have my purpose, I still have my song. Because my story is never yours to tell.
Hello. Hopefully you can hear me. I'll check the mic, but I think it's working. So what a day, huh? I don't know. I've been like up. I don't know. Let's see here. Let me make sure this is working. That's my music. Let's see if my voice is stirring. Okay. Come on, Carolyn, talk.
That speaks louder than the noise. I have my purpose, I still have my song. Because my story is never yours to tell.
Okay, let's Let's see. I don't know why it's. I'm going to get to the end. Make sure that I'm broadcasting.
Hard and still found.
Okay, that's crazy. Hello. Okay, perfect. All right, so today, we were watching in Zoom, and any member is willing. Oh my gosh. Any member is welcome. Any member Patreon is welcome to join us in the Zoom. The number you can see if you're a member in the community tab is posted there, and you can come and join us and watch the trial live. Well, now tomorrow is going to be closing arguments. And then there's, I don't know whether he's going to do the jury, the instructions before or after the closing arguments, but they're thinking that it's about an hour. Now, I can't remember. Is it in Massachusetts that they don't do a rebuttal? Like in most closing arguments, the prosecution goes, the defense goes, and then the prosecution gets the last time up at bat. But I remember, let me see if it's in Massachusetts that they don't do a rebuttal. So I think sometimes the defense goes first and then the prosecution goes, hold on, let me just see. Trying to remember from Karen Reed. Let's see, does Commonwealth get rebuttal closing arguments? Okay, so what happens is in Massachusetts, the defense goes first and then the Commonwealth goes. They don't do it with the rebuttal. So unlike the president, okay. The prosecution presents their closing argument last. So yeah, they don't do it like other states you've seen where, they get the last crack. They're going to have the last word, but it's just one closing argument for each one. Okay, so that, they open the statements first, the Commonwealth, and they close the arguments last. So that's they said about an hour. And okay, the psychiatrist that works with the FBI and in Virginia and stuff was on the stand still. He said a lot of stuff in a way that didn't sound like he was gunning. He wasn't like, he didn't sound so much like this hired gun, like a way that Mac sounded. Neither did Dr. Kirk, right? Dr. Kirk still sounded like he wasn't gunning for Lindsay. This guy didn't sound like he was gunning for her either. But he just stated very matter-of-factly that, and some of the things were that, now we heard in this that Patrick called. We know about that call. A lot of us assumed that Patrick called and she had already killed the kids. And then Patrick called and then she was going to go up and take care of herself. According to this doctor, he said Lindsay told him when Patrick called, then after that she began to take the kids methodically. Dawson first, down, murdered him. Then she took Cora down, and he said he tried to ask about, how did she get them down there? How did she subdue them? But he said she didn't remember any of that. And then finally, she took Callan down. And then she went to take care of herself. Knowing this now, if this truly is the timeline, I'm starting to think that she panicked. I think the door was locked because she panicked. I think she knew he was on his way home. I think she tried to cut and see if she'd bleed out and pass out, and she wasn't. And she tried the pills, and that wasn't working. And I think she was freaking because if she would be there, like conscious like that, and Patrick would come home, you know, what was she going to do? And I think that whole window thing was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? You know, the window. I don't think the window factored into the equation until the last minute. I think that was a panic move. Because she didn't know how to take herself out. Well, like, or she couldn't. The other thing I think about is, when I was talking to somebody during my walk, why wouldn't she have taken a route? Okay, she definitely had enough medications. Why did this voice tell her, and I don't think anybody asked her, that this would be her last opportunity or her last time to do this? Why?
I love it.
You know, why would it be the last opportunity? Right? What is the next day going to be any different? Is the next day going to be any different? Why is it the last opportunity? I don't understand that. So that doesn't make sense. And so,
Honey, call me before lunch or text me stuff before lunch, a little list.
okay,
Okay? And
I love you. So that doesn't make sense. But here's what I'm saying. Like, it's like my daughter said something to me. She said, please tell me that she drugged them or something before she did this to them, that they didn't go through this completely coherent and everything like that, because it's so terrible. I said, yeah, they didn't have any drugs or anything in their system. Why could she not, like, okay, here's the thing that bothers me very much about Lindsay Clancy and why I think she's a psychopath. Okay? I do believe she was going to commit suicide. I do believe that. For whatever reason, she was unhappy. I have my theories on why she may have been unhappy. I think, okay, remember when she was writing the journal and she started talking about having a fourth child? And a lot of people would say, why would she talk about having a fourth child when she didn't even have a grip on having 3 children? Because I think the pregnancy, birth, and the infant stage was something she really liked for a number of reasons, okay? I think when she was working, she saw like these other women, getting attention, let's put it that way, okay? There's a lot of attention on a new mother, new baby. Oh, you did a great job. Like, there's a lot of attention. And I think with Lindsay, she loved the attention she got by working out so crazily. Like, did you hear the stuff she did? And we still don't know whether she did this right before Callan was born on the day he was born or right after, because it was not clear. But it's like she ran, I don't know how many miles, she went on the Peloton, and she did something else. Okay? And I think the way that Patrick described that when she got in the Beachbody stuff, I think she got a lot of attention for that. And the more attention was on her when she was pregnant. Because, yeah, let's just say, oh, you're 9 months pregnant. Oh, you're running that marathon. Oh my gosh, right? And then after having the baby, oh my gosh, you're already running 5 miles a day. Oh, you look great. And there's so much kudos for her. Lots of attention. The other thing is, remember Callan was anybody described Callan as a happy baby. he was such a happy baby. Okay, you could put him anywhere. Luke was a baby like that because like nobody. I remember when I had Ethan, and Jimmy was at work, and I went to my aunt's, and Ethan was like 2, and I was in the water with him, and I had Luke all wrapped up in this blanket. He was like 6 months old, in the stroller. He was on the deck with my aunt and like all her friends, and they're like, "This kid is great. He's just sitting there fully aware of everything, smiling like crazy. It's not like he didn't have a bottle, he didn't have a pacifier. He just sat there like they even engaged. They say he is great." He was a kid like that, okay? You put him there, he's there. Now Ethan, right? So Ethan, I'm running around in the water with him, and it's harder with a toddler. Of course, your toddler is mobile. Your toddler is running around. Some toddlers are easier than others. Ethan was a very, very active toddler, okay? So I think she was enthralled with the pregnancy, enthralled with the little babies, but when they became toddlers, and Dawson, I don't think Dawson was anything out of the ordinary. He was a toddler, a 3-year-old. Okay, he didn't probably want to just sit still. He wanted to move around. He did things. He's not just gonna, okay, we're eating now, you're just going to sit there and eat. Like the father said, he had to help her when it was Thanksgiving, or was it Christmas? But I think she didn't like that part of it. Okay, and she had help for that part of it because her kids were in that daycare program, and then I think Patrick did a lot of the care of Dawson and Cora. So, and I think Cora was really good. But still, she said, she kind of resented them because it's not like Callan's her only baby. But I think when she means that, she means just that part where she puts a baby, the baby stays there, the baby's not walking off, that thing. So, for whatever reason, she was extremely unhappy in her life. Maybe because she realized that she's not going to be able to go back to just have babies, because babies don't stay babies forever, right? Babies, they all grow up. And so, I had another mother say this exact same thing to me. She's like, no matter what, even if I have another one, I'll never go back to where we're at the point where we're staying home before anybody went to school, before school ran our lives and stuff. Well, yeah, I could tell her, yeah, well, at that time, if you started all over again, but yeah, no, you won't. You know what I mean? It's like there's only a very small window of time that you have that. And so that this woman expressed that to me too, kind of what she was saying, like, she can't go back to where Callan is her only one, but I think she means more of just the baby stuff, not having to worry about the toddlers and getting them to school and all the stuff that comes along with that, because your life gets crazy when that happens. Okay, so anyway, she was, I hear it ringing, somebody's phone or something, but she was unhappy. Now you might look at her life and say, well, why is she so unhappy? The unhappiness really started because they said she had a good summer. And I'm sorry that I'm not looking at your chat, but I will look at it in a minute. But if I look at it now, I will get off on a tangent. They said she had a good summer. But when Patrick had to go back to work, now you say, Patrick worked in the basement. I imagine Patrick was doing a lot with, didn't the preschool teachers say Pat was mainly the one that dropped off over there and stuff? So I think she did get to spend that time with Callan. And I think it was good. And then they went and, did things together as a family, but he was there. And if you think about it, the kids were in that Tiny Sprouts or whatever the heck it was, preschool, which I don't get why Cora was not, maybe Massachusetts it's different. I don't understand why Cora was not in pre-K, like a full day of pre-K, because in New York, You start school now at 4 years old, pre-K, full day in the school system. Okay, but anyway, I guess they didn't have it there. It probably would have been beneficial had they had it for Lindsay, but the kids were still in that Little Sprouts program from 9 to, what did they go to? Did they go to 9 to 1 or 9 to, yeah. So she had that. And then, so basically she had from 1 until what, 5 when he got off? So it would be 4 hours. Who knows if she had the kids napping when they got home or whatever. But they were probably, tired from school anyway. They probably would sit down or do something. And yeah, so I don't know about that. But anyway, that really made her nuts. But now the point is, okay, well then they had the nanny. She hadn't go back to work when they had the nanny. That was all in preparation. They had the nanny. She wasn't going back to work. So then they had to let the nanny go. And I think that was a big thing of contention because she said, because Patrick said something either in his lawsuit or it was in it was written, it's one of the interviews he gave with the police or something, that I just thought she would do better when she went back to work. So maybe Patrick wasn't just going to get her a nanny and let her stay home and said, maybe you should go back to work. I don't know. She could have had some resentment about that. I don't know. The thing is, she got really, really depressed. And I believe she had bad depression. I don't know why, right? Like there wasn't, like, a lot of these cases we see, like there's some underlying cheating, there's money problems that have come out, there's other things that they seem to be doing okay financially. Patrick had a good job, and he was working in the home office, and he was coming up. Okay, so we got all that. Then, what was the other thing? So, yeah, and they lived in a nice house. She had her parents nearby. She was able just to call her mother, right? Hey, I'm not feeling great. Can you come here? And her mother came. She also had the ability, his parents wanted very much to take the kids. She didn't want them to. That's the part of her control. So, all right. So I think, so for whatever reason, she had no hope of feeling better. That's pretty sad. Okay? But I can't just put it out of my head that she looked up about a sociopath. Okay, here's my problem why I think she is a psychopath. I think one of the problems is she's so depressed is she doesn't have the normal or the correct feelings for her children. I don't think she did. I think she went through the motions. I think she mimicked stuff. And I think she constantly thought like, oh, am I resenting the kids for the... No, I don't think that. I don't think... Psychopaths, and I've told you I should read from that book, they're not all murderers. A lot of them are CEOs of companies, but they don't have emotions like love, even for their kids. It's very scary, but they don't. And that's why they can screw people over, and they don't have empathy, and they don't have a conscience, okay? So they don't feel remorse. They don't feel bad. They don't feel guilt. They don't struggle with like all those grief feelings. So my thinking is she was picking up on this maybe, and then she searched, there's no hope for a sociopath. Okay. And, if that's what I am, and I don't even, have those feelings for my kids, maybe I'm just going to take myself out of here. But she didn't want to leave her kids. She didn't want Patrick's parents raising them. She didn't want even her parents raising them, her sister. She was going to take them too. But what a brutal way. That is another way that, imagine that, if you really, really love these kids, how do you do that way? That's crazy. So, and he said that she got that call and she took them one by one down there. How do you do that? How do you do that to this baby that you're saying, like, oh my gosh, this baby's everything? How do you do that? It's just, it's unfathomable to most people, thankfully, right? So then if you say, okay, she was going to do this, you would think if she did possess feelings, love, that she would have done something quick, okay? And I'm not saying, but I'm saying, you know, people do things in the garage, like photos doulos, and everybody goes to sleep, right? People do things like that are not so traumatic. But the fact that she did this shows me she doesn't even really, again, points to psychopath for me. And beyond that, because you'd think, okay, how come she has all those drugs in the house? Why didn't she make everybody a little drink, right, before you go to bed? You know why I think she didn't do that? She was worried. What if somebody found out? What if it didn't work for one? She had to have the ultimate control, and the only way she was going to have that is if she herself killed every one of these kids. She couldn't take the chance, and that's probably why any other means too. So she did this very, very brutal thing, but then even after that, if she wasn't a psychopath, I don't even think she could sit in that courtroom. I think when she did that crying and stuff, that didn't seem real to me. That seemed fake. And did you notice today when the psychiatrist was saying how she methodically took Dawson down, then Court? She wasn't crying. She wasn't heaped over in that stance that she was before. She sat there. She was cooler than a cucumber. She's not even, like, I looked at her today at the end, like, you'd think if you're fighting for your life like this, you'd be a wreck. She looked fine. So, yeah, that's my theory on the whole thing. So the psychiatrist did say that in his opinion, she is criminally responsible for this. And the reason being is that, you know, the voice is telling her to do this, but the voice never told her, as the prosecutor asked, what to use, how to do this, who to do first, any of this. If the jury hears that she's hearing a voice for the very first time, she's never asking the voice, like, why, how, like, I can't. No, she just immediately obeying this voice that she heard for the first time, right? And then she never hears this voice ever again. Never again. Not even to tell her to finish the job on herself, or never hears the voice again. Never. Okay, so I think I'm vacillating a little bit that yesterday I was 100% sure that she was getting off. I don't know. I'm starting to maybe not so sure. Now, when they started doing the jury instructions, they started putting the manslaughter in. And I don't know how she wasn't getting nervous with this, because it seemed like Reddington was really wanting that manslaughter in there, and he even wanted something else, which they said, no, they're not doing that. But yeah, first degree, second degree, and when he was interviewed outside, he said, oh yeah, you need that there. And they said, are you confident? He said, I'm never confident. I just put on my case and I give it to the jury. So yeah, I mean, she looks dang confident. You know what I mean? But now I'm thinking. He said he saw the jury. He's like, the jury really was attentive and they took it all in. So I don't know. But there's a little bit of me that says maybe they're going to find her criminally responsible in some way. Will it be the first degree? See, I didn't think they would find Carmelo Anthony. I thought he was going to get a lesser, and they came back with the first degree. They may do it again here too tomorrow. I don't know. But you know who they did find guilty is Mario Fernandez Saldana, stamping up Shanna Gardner's estranged husband. So she must be shaking tonight. Her trial's coming up, and she's guilty as all get out. Okay. Let me see. I wonder if she's going to do a plea or something. I don't know. Something freaks me out. And Sterling and all the people that are stamping up consultants, you got to think that Sterling and Sherry's money went to this because of those oh boy. We could go on that another time. Now I'm going to look at what you guys said. I had to get that out. Okay. Carolyn, we were at the beach for almost 2 weeks. Oh, really? When seeing shells, you didn't go collect any, Rosalita? Isle Beach. I don't know where that is. Is it nice? Is it commercialized, Rosalita, or is it like a sleepy beach town? Okay. I thought the prosecutor had last ups, and they have they're gonna have last ups. Hi, Jet Set. How are you? Hi, Jen. Okay. Hi, B Lady. She just may be found guilty. Yeah, B Lady. She just may be. Don't know how long the jury will be out. They weren't out very long for Mario Fernandez Saldana. You've been busy, vacation, company, birthday. Oh, happy birthday. Hi, Carolyn. How are you? Yeah, that was a lot of working out there. It was before Callan was born to bring on labor. I did that too. Let's see. They kept saying she did have a plan with threats to unalive herself. Oh, she had plans, all right. Everything was planned. Each poor child planned. I just think she had serious depression, psychosis, and was medicated improperly. It seemed like she really wanted to get help. Do you think so, Carolyn? Because she kind of took control of that, telling Dr. Tufts what to write on records, not taking medication the way she should have and not telling doctors about that, yet taking the benzos and other things. And I don't know if I agree with that. You're not on the jury, right? That's the only people that matter is the jury. Yeah. Let's see. What did B Lady say? Oh, about she may be found guilty. I believe she's going to be found guilty. Just plain guilty of first-degree murder times 3. Really? Okay. Could be. Could be. It's not natural for a mother to kill her 3 children. Yeah, especially in that horrendous way, right? I think the jury will be back fast with a verdict. I don't know how fast they'll be, but I can't say that it'll be tomorrow. It might be Friday. I don't know. I heard the jury is mostly middle-aged women. I'm guessing some are mothers and will have different feelings and views. Hi, Mary. Do you think now that manslaughter has been added? But see, I really can't say it's manslaughter, because you remember this psychiatrist is talking about how she researched the distance. Why? They've been to 3V before. You don't have to worry about the distance, do you? Would you really have to calculate the distance? Would it matter if you thought it was 5 or it was 10 minutes away? Why would you even have to do that? So weird that you would have to do that. So weird. And I also think she would have taken, if she's was really truly didn't do this, didn't understand what was going on, really was in a psychosis, she would take the stand. Okay? She would take the stand. Why did you look that up? Why did you look up those things? She could have said, well, I don't know why I was looking that up. I was looking that up maybe because I didn't want to be alone very long, and I wanted to find out how long I would be alone. Right? Why not go with him then? But why not tell your story if you're fighting for your life and you really, you know what I mean? I don't know. The jury can accept the lesser charge. But see, she's got to understand, even if it's manslaughter, she's going to go to prison, not the hospital. So that's got to be something too, right? Because she's not been in jail or prison. She's been in a mental hospital. I think then she would go right away to the county jail, right? That would be very crazy, wouldn't that be? Hi, Ivy Speed. I don't know. If anybody wants to call in, let me know. You can call in with your thoughts on this. I don't know. The witness today, he was compelling. Was he not compelling? He was, to me. I think he was. The actual definition of manslaughter, let me tell you what it is. The true definition in Massachusetts. Let's see. First they were saying involuntary manslaughter, and then in Massachusetts, manslaughter is the unlawful killing of a person without malice aforethought. Divided into voluntary and involuntary categories under Massachusetts General Laws, chapters 265. Now, Reddington said manslaughter is manslaughter in Massachusetts, yet when they were doing the jury instructions, they had involuntary, and then they changed it just to manslaughter. So, and then when he was explaining it outside, he says manslaughter is just that, and doesn't make a distinction or something like that in Massachusetts, but not according to this. Anyway, voluntary manslaughter is an intentional killing that happens without malice, typically provoked by intense emotion. So that would be, they say, heat of passion, murders, or the act is triggered by something a reasonable person would find sufficient to stir up a blinding rage or fear. Sudden combat. It can occur during a sudden physical fight, before the person has time to cool down. Okay, involuntary manslaughter, which happens with wanton or reckless conduct. The person acts in a way that creates a high and grave risk of substantial harm or death to someone else, showing a total disregard for the safety of others. That would be probably somebody that was like speeding around in a car or something with other people, right? Thinking they're having a good time or whatever, and then something happens. And battery resulting in unintended death from committing a dangerous battery against another person. That may be like if you just like come over here and then the person slips and falls, it hits their head and dies or something like that. Let's see. Punishable manslaughter is by up to 20 years in a state prison. Specific variants such as manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of, narcotics or alcohol or something like that, carries a mandatory minimum sentence. So they're saying without malice. So if they think she killed the kids, but she didn't have malice, that she was doing it for an altruistic purpose, but who knows, maybe. Where the heck is the... Oh, here it is. Manslaughter is more of a spontaneous thing to me. This was definitely planned. Yeah, it was planned, especially the second and the third. And they asked Kevin Reddington about that. Can they come to different conclusions or verdicts about each of the children? Yes, or they could come to the same. It's up to the jury. Not much, Ivy. We just got on not long ago. You missed a bit of my thoughts, but you can always watch them later. So, should we take a poll? Maybe we'll take a poll and see. Let's try this one first. Try that one. See if it's yeah, I heard the jury is made up of a lot of 40-year-old women, like, right? So, but you don't know today. Now, many times, Rosalita, they're not having kids, but maybe, who knows? Oh, good night, I love you. Who knows? They probably have them, though. Okay, so let's see. Where's the poll? I can't see the poll anymore. Did it go away? I can't see the poll anymore. Oh, here it is. Right now it's at 50-50. Yes, for a verdict tomorrow. 54. Oh, now it's more for a verdict tomorrow. Well, if they've been listening very attentively, depending on how long they take to get started, if you figure, oh, I don't know, with them, who knows? The judge could take an hour going through those jury instructions. There's several pages. And then 3 hours with 12 o'clock, maybe they're over with the statements, then the arguments, and then maybe he'll say, oh, have lunch first. Who knows? And then start your deliberations. So, just see. Sure, they've got a lot to think about tonight, too. I don't know, I think I'll tell you something else I noticed, and maybe you might have noticed it too. I think Kevin Reddington was taking a page from TikTok to put a little bit of reasonable doubt, and we'll see if he does it in the closing arguments, about talking about Patrick. Did you catch that? Oh, so Patrick told you that she could speak, right? Patrick said that the drugs were crushed up. I think he was hoping maybe that one of those people somehow got wind of Patrick or thought about it on their own, and he's going to put some reasonable doubt there. Because he kept saying that even though she has said she was guilty, it's still on the Commonwealth. It's their burden to prove that she did this at all. This is what he said. So I think he's setting that up. I really do. I think he's going to try to drive that home a little bit tomorrow and put a little reasonable doubt that it could have been Patrick. But he's going to take a page from TikTok. I'm just feeling it. You think we'll get a verdict if it makes it to the jury tomorrow? Well, right now we're at 50-50. Absolutely, Kevin is 100% pointing towards Patrick. I was shocked. He did it the day before yesterday, too. I think he's doing that to make sure she gets off. And did you guys notice he went from talking about her as this young lady, and then he got down to this kid. I said, she's going to be a baby next. He did this young lady, and then I think he did this girl, didn't he? This girl, and then he did this kid. Who's never done, did you hear him say? She's never done one thing wrong. Boy, if that's not she's never done one thing wrong but killed her 3 kids. Sounds like Chris Watts saying that I hope they don't judge me on this one thing. Well, you know what? This one thing, killing your whole family, yeah, probably is going to be the thing that stands out. Yeah, she went down to a kid. And, you know, the Commonwealth, there's many things the Commonwealth should be objecting to that they're not. It's kind of ridiculous. They let him get away with a lot that they could object to. And did you see, like, how when he said, oh, and then you asked for, what is this, Jen Sprague? And she goes, Attorney Sprague. And he goes, Jen Sprague. And then the judge goes, Attorney Sprague. Like, the judge is, like, scared of Reddington, too. And you see Reddington go out there. He's got, like, a fan club. Okay? They're all like, oh, hi, can I get a selfie with you? You know, and he's a good attorney. Yeah, he is, right? If you needed an attorney, that's the kind of attorney you want, right? Yeah, but, you know, I mean, playing the games. Sure. He's being paid the money to play the games. So, But I thought it was interesting when they asked him if he was confident, and he said, I'm never confident. But he loves her so much. He said he loves her so much. And she's so sweet. And she's, I think he said something like she wouldn't do anything or so, some craziness. Yeah, they definitely needed, I think they should have used different prosecutors. Yeah. Yeah, and it's so funny because somebody asked him outside the courthouse yesterday or the day before, what about the rumors about Patrick? And he says, I don't have time to be talking about the rumors. I've got to worry about Lindsay or something. She's found guilty. Do you think she will appeal? They all appeal. They always appeal. Be Lady, of course, yeah. Yeah. So we're still at 50-50 about if there'll be a verdict tomorrow. How many think she's going to be found guilty? In some degree, in some degree. Whether it's first, second manslaughter. What do you think? If you think she's going to be found guilty, write guilty. Or write not CR if you think she's not going to be criminally responsible. They all appeal. They all appeal. And we got to talk about Kohlberger. Kohlberger is getting a hearing. Did you hear that one? I heard that one. Supposedly getting a hearing to take back his guilty plea? What? I can't help thinking, if her story is true, why isn't she worried about her children? Well, I think it's not that they being alone with God. I think it's you would just be so completely shattered. Like I don't see that, and that's why I think she's a psychopath. I don't think she has those emotions. I don't think she feels remorse or guilt or love. Tasha Roberts says guilty. You believe, now when you say CR, do you mean not CR or she'll be found criminally responsible, Ivy? I'm confused. Do you mean not criminally responsible or criminally responsible? That's really interesting that we've got a lot of people thinking guilty here. Let's do a poll then, since that's going like that. And I'm just going to do guilty in any capacity. It'll be a manslaughter first, second, whichever one, or I'm just going to do two choices, or not criminally responsible. Okay? So we don't have to have a... Oh, you think she will not... You think... Okay. So Ivy... I thought Ivy changed her mind. Okay. So, all right, let's see. Okay, there you go. You think her motive is nobody could take care of them like her, get rid of them, and then do herself in. Yeah, I think so too, Rosalita, but I think the way she did it and everything shows me she's a psychopath. You think she'll be found guilty, but I do not think she'll be going to prison. I think she'll be going to a psych ward. If she's found guilty, she's going to prison. She's going to prison. The psych ward, it is if she's found not guilty because she's not criminally responsible. Not criminally responsible. I just want to see if there's a lot that thinks she's going to be found guilty in some degree, whether it's manslaughter, first degree, second degree. If you haven't hit the likes, please hit the likes. If you haven't, well, if you're here inside, you're a subscriber. Thanks for subscribing. Consider becoming a member. That'd be great. That'd be great. And the poll's there. It's 78% guilty now in some degree. It's right there on the bottom. It's back. 78% right now. If you haven't voted, vote in the poll. If she is not guilty and set free, just where does she go on? Oh, she'll go live with her parents, B-lady. Okay, then I might have to change what I think. What I really think is the medical field failed her big time. And then also, I feel like the husband failed her. That's just what I think, though. That's okay, Tasha. I don't know, Ivy. I don't know. She seems to get special accommodations. I don't know. Did you see Dr. Paul Zizell sitting behind her? I kind of think they have a relationship going on. I don't know why. I just do. Guilty is winning. Mr. Reddington, are you looking at the poll? I wonder why he just didn't understand that she was too unstable to be left alone with the children. I'm sure he's What are you thinking? I missed today. I was at work. I have to try to find it. Yeah, definitely you want to look at today. Today really made a difference, I think. Today really made a difference, for sure. For sure, for sure. How long are typical closing arguments? Depends. There was one case, Monica Cementilli. That prosecutor had the longest closing argument I've ever seen. I think it was 3 days long. Not joking. But they said about an hour they're going to be. You heard someone reading the 911 call and the words are crazy. I thought we were not allowed to do that. They better be very careful. I thought the judge said we are not allowed to do that. They better be very careful. They really better be very careful because I thought he said that that is not allowed to be shared. I think there are more problems in the relationship than what we know. I can't say anything caused. I wasn't there. I think maybe there's communication problems and maybe living like roommates. No, even the transcript, I don't think you're allowed to do that. I would never take a chance on that. Take a chance on me. Because he said even something like discussing any of that. That's what he said in the beginning, I'm telling you. If anyone wants to call in with your view, you're welcome to call in. You just tell me, I'll get you the number. Look at this. It's staying at guilty is way over not criminally responsible. Oh boy, I'd be careful. I have changed my mind on this one, saying Patrick is guilty. Are you people insane? Wait a second. Normally I respect others' opinions, Scooter says. I have changed my mind on this one opinion. Oh, you're saying that Patrick is not... Wait, I kind of can't understand you. Could you call in if you'd like to be clear? If you'd like to be clear, could you call in? Because that's not very clear. Oh, I got you. I agree, yeah. You said I kind of don't understand you. I was thinking the same thing, but now I understand it. Health professionals didn't do anything wrong. I believe Lindsay failed herself. I can imagine the nightmares and all the therapy Patrick is going through. He is the victim. Yes, he is. But now you've got Reddington, like, pointing, because he wants to get the reasonable doubt. Someone just said somewhere. Oh, yeah. That he went skiing. And again, he was going skiing with Cora. And I'm glad he took Cora. Yeah, right, Ivy? Sure you would. We all would, right? Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? We wouldn't want to pay his bill, but you'd surely want him fighting for you. Lindsay's a psychopath, in my opinion. She's a psychopath. She scares me. She really does scare me. So many people are like applauding. They're already got her like this martyr for women's health and stuff. It's really crazy. I just thought it was so ironic that she didn't cry at all today when that psychiatrist was explaining how she took the kids methodically down to the basement and killed them. That, I don't know. I want to know why she thinks it would be her last chance. That's so crazy. I don't know. Maybe when these, depending on what the jury comes up back with, and depending on these civil suits when they're over, maybe his family will speak out, especially after the way he's been vilified. You know, maybe his parents, especially when they found out that Lindsay didn't want them to watch the kids and all of that. Why don't you come and watch with us ever, Scooter? That's so rude. It's not nice. That's why I don't trust all the women on the jury will agree. There's some cuckoo crazy women supporting Lindsay. Yeah. Holding babies like same, Lindsay, same. Oh boy, somebody said that's how I know all the unfit mothers on TikTok. They better watch out somebody doesn't take their kids. Same, Lindsay, same. So what does that mean? You're going to kill your baby? Wow. Yeah, hung jury, but surely, Scooter. Oh, gotta reschedule my. Got a busy day on Friday, and I've got. Oh my gosh. Oh, stop, Scooter. I think it rotates, B lady. I'm trying to remember the case recently where the prosecutor came out and they all talked about getting the verdict for what case was that? Someone's sister. Oh my gosh, what case was that? It wasn't Carmelo Anthony. Can't think of what case it was. I can't think. Cannot think. Was it? Oh my gosh, I can't think of the case. They had a big press conference outside. They had so many people. So let's take a look at Brian Koberger. Let's see what's going on with that while we're waiting for this poll. Let's see. If you want to call in and give your thoughts on Lindsay Clancy. A June date on the calendar, but no hearing yet for Brian. A June date on the calendar. Let's see. He petitioned last month to take back his plea, saying his attorneys manipulated him into a deal, promising better prison conditions and scaring him about death row. An Idaho judge has set the timeline for Brian Kohberger's attempt to withdraw his guilty plea in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students, and he's warning attorneys on both sides that he will hold any new evidence in the case to a strict legal standard. The 4th District Judge Stephen Hippler, who sentenced Kohberger to life in prison without parole after he pleaded guilty to the murders last year, set out the guidelines for how the case will proceed in a written order Wednesday morning. The judge did not grant Kohberger a hearing on his claims that his guilty plea should be withdrawn. Instead, Hippler scheduled a date for next June in case he determines an evidentiary hearing is warranted. Probably won't happen. Kohberger is currently serving 4 consecutive life sentences. He filed a handwritten petition last month asking the court to let him take his plea back, saying his attorneys manipulated him into making the deal by promising him better prison conditions and scaring him about the quality of life on death row. He offered only a few details and elaborations, saying they failed to disclose or review evidence that might have helped his case during plea discussions. He has since been appointed a new attorney, Greg Rausch, who said he couldn't immediately comment on the case. In Wednesday's order, Hippler told prosecutor and Kohberger's attorney that they must strictly adhere to the Idaho Rules of Court Procedure, particularly the sections detailing what evidence is admissible in court. And the judge also detailed how both sides should object to evidence that they feel is not admissible. Anyone who does not comply with the court's order could be subject to sanctions, he wrote. He said both sides should discuss any potential witnesses, including experts, by the start of February. He also set a status conference for next June. Oh, this is the case. I found it. Remember yesterday I said I wanted to talk to you about a case and then I couldn't find it? I just found it. Hold on. A mother and son charged in a teenager's death. Pennsylvania. An 18-year-old soccer player was allegedly stabbed by her boyfriend. Hang on here. So we got an 18-year-old soccer player allegedly stabbed by her boyfriend in Pennsylvania. Police say her boyfriend tried to cover up her death with the help of his mother. Let me show you this. This is the one I was trying to tell you about yesterday. Okay, this is the teenager.
Megan loves to treat.
That's Royce Moser, 18 years old. He's charged with criminal homicide. He's facing charges including murder, while his mother, Rachel Moser, is facing charges including hindering apprehension of a fugitive, according to the Pennsylvania State Police. The murder of Caroline Heinz, a college student. She was found dead in her car on Thursday. They have both been charged with tampering with evidence, abuse of a corpse, and obstruction of justice. Jared Heinz, the victim's father, told investigators his daughter left his home the night of the murder with the possibility of going to Target before returning to Penn West, California University, to her dorm, according to an affidavit of probable cause. When Jared Heinz went to check her locations, he noticed she had stopped at her boyfriend's house. About 30 minutes later, she began moving, and the last transmission of her phone location data was in an area of 2501 National Pike. After he was unable to get a hold of her, the California Borough Police Department was contacted because an AirTag in her vehicle showed she was in a parking lot in a California borough. Just after midnight on Thursday, the state police went to check the area for a Jeep Cherokee after Heinz did not return to California University, and when others located her vehicle, they found a noticeable blood splatter inside and outside the vehicle. Her body was found in the rear hatch area. Here's the mother. Looks like she had blood on her, but I think it's something in the suit. They got her like in the hazmat suit. Investigators allege that Carolyn Heinz met with her boyfriend outside his father's residence to talk when he got angry. Entered the residence. He then retrieved a large kitchen knife and allegedly stabbed her in the chest. Wow. After she fell from the vehicle, Royce Moser allegedly put her in the rear hatch area of the Jeep, drove to his mother's house. His mother then allegedly assisted him by attempting to clean the Jeep and provided him with latex gloves and told him to follow her to the university. They then left the vehicle near California's library with Heinz still inside. Rachel and Royce then allegedly drove back to her residence where he cleaned his clothes and showered. Surveillance footage captured Royce driving the victim's vehicle near where the victim was found. His mother's vehicle was also seen following the victim's car. Royce and Rachel, oh, isn't that weird? I wonder if she named him that, so it was like Ross and Rachel, were found at her residence and were taken in for a police interview. Rachel told investigators her son admitted to stabbing the victim and that he had asked her for help returning her vehicle to the university. Rachel told police her son had told her he had demons, and they told him to hurt the victim. Rachel also told police her son admitted to putting Heinz in the back hatch of the vehicle and that he needed a ride back. In his interview with police, Royce admitted to killing Heinz after he got angry and had a demon take over and told him to stab her. Here we go, right? Royce Moser also told police how his mother helped him to clean the car, told him to take a bath and then a shower after they returned. According to court records, she allegedly put his clothes in the washing machine. Royce told police his mother took the knife that was used to stab the victim and put it in a garbage bag to be put in the trash outside her house. The knife was found in the garbage bag, matching the description Royce gave. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What do you think? These demons are running amok, voices, right? Yep. His mom helped him cover it up. She certainly did. She certainly did. Did you see what happened in Nepal? That flash flood? Oh my gosh. An off-duty police captain and their partner locked the daughter, too, in a hot car to fish in Lincoln, Nebraska. $38 million eggs recalled. FDA warning eating them could result in death. More than 54,000 pounds of jasmine rice have been recalled. At least 10,000 families have lost their homes. The humanitarian worker in Nepal estimates. Philadelphia man in a Chucky mask is accused of terrorizing citizens and nabbed in Las Vegas. Texas wildfire, Ross Fire, grows to 80,000 acres, evacuations ordered. Lindsay Clancy's trial ends with a bombshell admission. They're talking about the FBI guy. His bombshell admission. I don't know if anybody sees, you know where the I guess she's the court clerk. She's the one that announces every day. She's got a very thick Boston accent. If you look at the guy sitting next to her, I swear he is the guy that does an eye drops commercial. Please look at him. He has gray hair. Would you look at him? There's a guy that does an eye drops commercial. I am positive it is the same person. It's like Dry Eyes or something. Anyway, the forensic psychiatrist, Dr. Gregory Sathoff, Clancy's, let me see. Reddington said, would you agree that the evidence, in your opinion, supports that contention, sir? After he read Buckingham's statement, which was that claimed Clancy manipulated her health care providers who treated her as she desperately sought help for crippling insomnia, depression, anxiety, and horrible intrusive thoughts about suicide. Would you agree that the evidence, in your opinion, supports that contention? He said, well, there is a lot in that. And then Reddington said, yeah, there is. Do you agree that it would support your contention, sir, or it would not? He said, I think that statement that you read really minimizes what Clancy was going through. All right, thank you, Reddington said. And he was reading the portion of Buckingham's statement that said Lindsay made a calculated decision. She was a woman who no longer liked the life she thought she wanted. It was getting harder and harder for her to control. And when she saw an opportunity to escape, she made the selfish choice to take it, and to take Cora, Dawson, and Callan first, before attempting to take her own life. She chose to manipulate her providers, seek out a quick and easy fix when she was feeling depressed and anxious, and when she didn't get what she expected, she chose the alternate route. She would seek a different doctor. She would change medications after days. She disengaged from treatment when she didn't like the plan, and after only 4 months in treatment, she made a choice, a deliberate and intentional decision that she did not want to try anymore, and because no one could take care of her kids the way that she wanted them to, she had to take them with her too. Satoff said he believes that Lindsay Clancy is criminally responsible. Hold on a minute, let's... She had that look on today. I mean, she really had the if looks could kill looks. Satoff said he believes Lindsay Clancy is criminally responsible because she was methodical, quite controlled and organized on January 24th when she carried out the killings. He also testified there were inconsistencies in Lindsay Clancy's account of when the male voice first came to her, and in her and her then husband's telling of the sequence of events that day. Satoff, who has decades of experience and has worked with thousands of patients with psychosis, also said it was unusual that Lindsay Clancy only ever heard the voice during the killings, never ever before, and never again after. In all, roughly 85 witnesses, including 10 defense witnesses, testified over the course of the trial. So we'll see what happens, right? Justine Bateman is blasting Lindsay Clancy supporters. Justine Bateman. Let's see. Justine Bateman blasted Lindsay Clancy's courthouse supporters as broken. The actress, who's 60, she's 60, huh? Weighed in on the disturbing case by sharing 2 sweet photos of herself cradling her children in an Instagram post on Tuesday amid a wave of support for Clancy outside the courthouse. Considering the very disturbing case and support videos about mothering and babies, here's some counter-programming, she wrote in the caption. Bateman, who's the sister of actor Jason Bateman, and she was also on Family Ties, shares son Duke and daughter Janetta with her husband Mark Fluent. The pair have been married since 2001. She put hashtag I love my kids. Last year, she's been known for her outspoken views. Last year, she accused Meghan Markle and Prince Harry of being disaster tourists after they popped up as volunteers during the Los Angeles wildfires. She rose to fame as a teenager on the sitcom Family Ties, starring as the daughter Mallory for 7 seasons from 1982 until the show ended in 1989. Her television career also includes her work on Men Behaving Badly, Californication, and Desperate Housewives. Her latest post comes as Clancy's trial nears its conclusion. Clancy, 36, killed her children, 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, and 8-month-old Callan at their Duxbury, Massachusetts home in January of 2023. She strangled the children with exercise bands and then allegedly attempted to kill herself. But her efforts failed and left her paralyzed and in a wheelchair for life. She has admitted to killing her children, but has pleaded not guilty to murder by reason of insanity, citing postpartum psychosis. She's seeking to be sent to a mental health facility rather than face a prison sentence. Mom who loved their kids for our number, the broken display we've seen lately. Would she put, consider the very disturbing case and support videos about mothering and babies. Here's some counter-programming. Moms who love their kids far outnumber the broken display we've seen lately. Hashtag I love my kids. Okay, let's see here. Tensions rise in the courtroom. Oh, let's see what happened here. Are you kidding me? What happened here? Lindsay Clancy. Okay, here. Especially important for Sathoff was a phone call that Clancy placed. Her husband called her at 5:33 p.m., and when she missed it, she called him back at 5:34 p.m. When she received the phone call from her husband, she did not report to him that she was in distress, that she was having hallucinations, that she needed help. With that phone, by calling her husband back and reassuring him by the fact that, yes, she knew the medication, wherever, that helped guarantee that he would continue on his errands. Had she not called him back, it certainly was possible that he would be concerned enough that he would return home. So I think the phone figures in terms of her awareness and confirming her behavior such that the strangling of her children could be concealed, and Kevin Reddington grew frustrated. When he said, have you ever treated a woman suffering from postpartum psychosis? In the late 1980s and also in the late 1990s when I ran a unit in a state hospital, he said, agreeing that postpartum depression can escalate to postpartum psychosis rapidly. Reddington questioned Sathoff's conclusions, specifically his claim that Lindsay Clancy had misled her family, Sadoff defended his findings, saying in text messages, for example, in the days prior to the event, the communications she was providing did not give a sense of her state of mind regarding suicidality. Are you kidding me? A frustrated Reddington shot back. Reddington also pressed Sadoff about why the doctor had never interviewed Clancy's mother as part of his investigation. Sadoff said, I contacted the district attorney and Reddington said, which one? Which one of the two? Miss Sprague. Oh, you spoke to Jen Sprague? And what did you say to her? Then Jennifer Sprague said, Attorney Sprague. Reddington says, what is it? Sprague says, Attorney Sprague. Reddington turns back to the witness. You spoke to Jen Sprague. The judge says, Attorney Sprague. Wow. So now someone, Sierra Gillespie from Law and Crime, was inside the courtroom when that happened, and she noticed that moments later when Sadoff referenced Ms. Sprague and Reddington corrected him, Attorney Sprague, the jurors were visibly stifling laughter. Sadoff was the final witness, and now that makes it sound like they're watching this showman, Reddington, and laughing about it. Well, Sadoff was the final witness in Clancy's murder trial. The jury was dismissed after he left the stand, and the jury will return to hear closing arguments tomorrow morning. Oh, and then they were blasting the police investigation, too. Let's not forget that. Kevin Reddington attacked the police investigation, arguing questions still linger before the jury heads to deliberations in America's saddest murder trial. As the lawyers debated what charges Clancy should face, defense attorney Kevin Reddington asked the judge to allow the jury to consider instructions based on an inadequate police investigation. It was no investigation. They basically accepted the fact that she strangled the children and moved on. He said that they didn't test the window screen or the tumbler that she allegedly crushed pills into. He also said there's all sorts of questions about the blood spatter. I could go on and on about the horrific investigation. Reddington argued the jury could acquit based on the investigation. To have a lack of criminal responsibility, you have to admit involvement in the crime. But when you're trying the case with lack of criminal responsibility, the government still has the burden to prove to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of, based on the evidence of that particular crime. If there's evidence of a police investigation that is deficient, a jury does have a right to consider that as a basis of an acquittal. Judge Sullivan denied his request to allow the jury to consider an inadequate police investigation. However, the judge said he will give a manslaughter instruction, meaning that the jury could find Clancy guilty of the lesser charges of manslaughter rather than murder. Again, Sadoff said, my opinion is that she did have the capacity to appreciate right from wrong. This is based on several things. One day before the killings, Clancy met with Dr. Jennifer Tufts and denied suicidal or homicidal thoughts. They had also spoken about future treatment. He also said that he noticed preparatory planning in her online searches for the distance to Restaurant 3V and to CVS, before asking her husband about getting takeout and adding on the pharmacy trip as another errand. And then Dr. Sadoff claimed she could commit the crime where there was no witnesses. She needed a window of time to kill the children and herself. She was conscious of time, adding that was seen in the locking of the door to delay Patrick from entering the bedroom, the weapons used, the exercise bands being readily available and nearby also shows planning. And the phone call between her and Patrick was said to be significant. Clancy called her ex-husband back, showing presence of mind to conceal from him what was going on, in my opinion, within a reasonable degree of medical certainty that Lindsay Clancy was criminally responsible. On cross-examination, Reddington poked holes in the evidence Satoff used to reach his conclusion. Satoff had cited that Clancy told Patrick, "I tried to kill myself when he found her injured in the yard," as a reason to show that she was competent at the time. When asked where he got that information, the psychiatrist said Patrick said that. But he admitted that he did hear the 911 call, and Clancy was not making any audible words. Reddington asked if he heard anything from Clancy other than guttural grunts. Not on that call. Reddington also questioned Satoff about the timing of when Clancy began to hear voices telling her to kill the kids. Clancy told Satoff that her hallucination occurred when she was standing at the refrigerator making the children their dinner. However, Dr. Satoff testified that she had told Dr. Spinelli that she heard it almost as soon as Patrick left the house at around 5:15 p.m. Patrick testified that Dawson was eating chicken nuggets on the couch when he left. The different accounts to him showed inconsistencies in Lindsay Clancy's story. Reddington said that the crime scene photos show some cucumbers or carrots in the bowl and is showing there are holes in the facts on which he's basing his evaluation of Clancy. Okay. Let me... Okay, let's see. Where are you guys? All right, let's see. Hold on. So 54% say guilty, 46. It's still more guilty than not. Okay. Go back over here now. Where's Margaret been? Margaret, where are you? I thought Margaret would be into this case. Margaret, where the heck are you? I wonder where Margaret is. Margaret, where are you? Where the heck's Margaret? Okay. Well, I don't wonder how old her kids are, because she just showed like little baby pictures and she's 60, so I don't know. Maybe she had them with donor eggs. I don't know. Did she just have them? Scooter, would you like to call in on with your Lindsay Clancy ideas? Would anybody like to call in with their Lindsay Clancy thoughts? Or are you all scared? Are you all scared? Don't be scared. Hello. I'm getting tired. All right, so I think I'll do just really quick do the daily so I don't get too tired. Be nice to see some new members tonight. That would be nice. That would be nice. Hi, bee lady. How are you? Oh, shoot. Do you want to call with your thoughts? Hmm? Okay. This is a big game. Really? It's very easy to play. Very easy to play. Oh boy. Come on. So really, don't you want to call in, bee lady, and give your thoughts on Lindsay Clancy? Huh? What is what? It's just a word they use all the time here. Maybe tomorrow. No, you got to do it tonight, girl. Tomorrow there could be a verdict and then you'd be right. You got to come out before the verdict. No. Where the freak? I said dung before. What happened? New is left. Yep. All right. Come on. We're done. I did it. I did it. I did it. All by myself. All by myself. I did the word game. All by myself. With no one else. It's just me against the world. Okay. Scooter left. Isn't that mean? She's being a meanie. Scooter is a meanie. Everybody put it down. Scooter is a meanie. Scooter. Scooter. Where's Scooter? Let me try to find. You know what it is? You know what it is? Do you know what it is? Canoe. It's another name for a wildebeest. I thought I saw Gnu. Gnu. What was that gazoo? What was that thing on the Flintstones? That guy that was ahead of his time, that little Martian guy. That was weird, right? That they had a Martian guy. Scooter's mean. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you, Ivy. I appreciate the support. Read about the other lady who killed her kids. Yeah, was that the one? Hold on a minute. Was that the one that she got a new trial, or are you talking about the one that recently did it and then went away to like Vermont? Right? Because wait, there's two. Hold on a minute. There was one in the same court, and I run through that yesterday or something. But then there was a woman. Jeanette McCausland, a Massachusetts mother who killed her 2 young children in Wellesley, Mass. 49-year-old Jeanette. She killed her 7-year-old son. Now this is the lady, remember? Oh, I remember. Listen, she had a baby at 42 and 43. Imagine, right? She might have had difficulty. Maybe she didn't have any difficulty. Maybe she did. But either way, she's on the tail end of it, right? You think, again, so lucky, so this, so that. You have these 2 kids in your 40s, and then you kill them. It's unfathomable. And she fled to Bennington, Vermont. Okay, on April 24th, 2026, McCausland allegedly strangled her 2 children in their home. Remember this one? She drove 3 hours to her aunt's house in Bennington, Vermont. She arrived on April 27th with a severe neck wound and covered in blood. Local police were called. She confessed to the killing. She waived extradition in Vermont. She was returned to Massachusetts. She pled not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder. Court records show the couple was undergoing a bitter divorce and a custody dispute at the time. And I remember when we looked at the pictures of the father and the mother with the kids. Okay, she was, wasn't there also another one that was a doctor or something? I think she killed the kids and herself, this other one. This one here, she looks like somebody. She was an acupuncturist, I think. Let me see. Let's see. Mother from affluent Boston suburb. Officers attempted to engage her in conversation. They became increasingly concerned for the welfare of the children. Police say they contacted Wellesley authorities for a welfare check. When the police arrived on scene, they made a grisly discovery. They say McCausland's 2 children were found dead. They took McCausland into custody as a fugitive from justice and said Massachusetts issued a criminal warrant for 2 counts of murder, and she's at the Marble Valley Correctional Facility in Vermont at the time of this, and then she was arraigned. Let's see. Her husband, Samuel McCausland, filed for divorce in October after 9 years of marriage. He cited an irretrievable breakdown of the marriage. Children attended Schofield Elementary School, where they said, "We are devastated to learn about the tragic death of 2 of our WPS students, a 2nd grader and a kindergartner at Schofield Elementary School. This is an unimaginable loss that will be deeply felt, not just at Schofield, but across our entire community." Yeah, so Jeanette McCausland, is that the one you're talking about? Because there's also another one that was actually in the same court Lindsay was with the same judge. On May 6, 2026, she was arraigned. She was emotional. Let's see. Oh, listen to this. Investigators say the 49-year-old showed up at her aunt's house in Bennington, Vermont on April 24th and admitted to killing 6-year-old daughter Ella and 7-year-old son Kai. That reminds me of another Kai that died. Oh my gosh, that was so horrible. There was dried blood on McCausland's neck from a large cut. She said, "I wanted the 3 of us to go to God together, but it didn't work. I strangled them, and then I tried to kill myself." She appeared in a Vermont courtroom last week and agreed to return to Massachusetts. Court records show. Okay. She's being held without bail. And then there's the other one where she was convicted and now she's gunning another trial, and that's the same court. Okay. Let me go over here. This is so odd. You say, Ted Hughes' first wife, Sylvia Plath, unalived herself. You don't have to say unalive here, Ivy. But took great lengths to protect her kids. Ted Hughes' second wife killed her baby, then herself. Wow, how unlucky is that? That is crazy. Yeah, and then there's another one who was convicted, and then she wasn't able to introduce evidence, so she has I think a new trial coming up in the same court. So, what do you think? What do you think? In about maybe 12 hours, they'll be deliberating. 12 hours. 12 little hours they could be deliberating. Hold on a minute, I gotta get something. I have to get something. Oh, Jimmy Johns. Not good. Not nice. Not nice. Oh no. You know what I just thought about? You think the verdict will be quick? I just thought about something. The other woman said that same thing. Well, it's probably what they're thinking. I just don't know why they kill the children so violently when that's the one thing. There was a case around here, I can't even talk about it because what the mother did, I can't even think about it. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's horrible. Can't even think about the kid that survived. Oh my gosh. I worry so much for that kid. Well, I mean, they do, though, Ivy. They do. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, let's look at the court of public opinion. Let's look at the court of public opinion. You forgot the court of public opinion. How could we forget the court of public opinion on such a monumental day? Oh my gosh, you guys. Come on. We're slipping. Hold on. Okay. Somebody said Kevin Reddington is a 75-year-old bully. What a nasty man. Pretty sure it's possible to put on a defense without constantly cutting off, mocking, and belittling witnesses. Also, if he calls her a young woman one more time, he called her a young girl and then he called her a little kid. Something like that, yeah. He's been calling her that kid today, like she's some innocent little church girl, someone said. Yeah, she'll be 40 in a few years, not a kid. He's doing it on purpose. He's a seasoned defense attorney. Everything he does is calculated. He does it on purpose so the jury feels sorry for her. It also helps the defense for the jury to view her as a poor, innocent little girl that was let down by the system, by everyone around her. Defense attorneys always pull this shite. She's a child, yet everyone around her is a fully grown adult that knows the answer to everything, but was just keeping all of that information away from her. I hate it. There was a time a few decades ago when he was considered the best defense attorney in Boston. But look at who he was defending and the crimes they were on trial for. While everyone accused of a crime is entitled to a defense, ultimately, it's up to individual attorneys who are paid by clients if they want to take on the case. He's chosen some clients that others probably took a pass on. He appears to have seriously questionable ethics. That's one of the things that really pisses me off about these Lindsay Clancy supporters. They're making him out to be an advocate and a hero that stands up for women or whatever the F they think, but truth is, he's just a lawyer doing his job. I don't know for certain which cases he has taken on in the past, but I have heard he defended clients accused of R. But the Lindsay Clancy supporters don't seem to bring that up when they praise him. Let's see. Called her a kid today. Real Lindsay shows up when the jury's away. Oh yeah, she was having, a lot of facial stuff going on. Let's see. Let's see. Uh-oh. Someone said, I keep coming back to Patrick's 5:33 p.m. phone call. He had no idea what was happening in that house. He was simply calling his wife while the murders were underway. I'm honestly so glad he made that call. Lindsay missed it, but immediately called him back. Beyond, where am I? Hold on a minute. Beyond helping establish the timeline, what she said and how she behaved during that interaction gives us and the jury a contemporaneous glimpse into her state of mind during a critical window. To me, that's incredibly important when considering whether she was actually in psychosis at the time. The call is critical. She called back. 1. Break in behavior. 2. Rational responses. 3. Didn't say I'm hearing voices, I'm scared, etc., etc. This is pretty clear-cut evidence that she had retained the capacity to conform her behavior. Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, shoot. Shoot. Somebody just said the vibe has shifted and I wanted to read it, and then it was... Oh, no. Okay. Shoot. Okay. Let me see. I want to see that. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on? Does she have something? Hold on a sec. I saw something I wanted to say now. Okay. All right, the vibe has shifted. Now everyone can see. This had nothing to do with postpartum psychosis and was an attempted murder, triple homicide. Do not forget Cora, Dawson, and Callan. Has the vibe shifted? I hope so, but I still see a lot of people, if not more, saying the opposite. They are very vocal online because they need the validation. So don't pay it any mind. I've seen more paid ads regarding this, and I'm just utterly disgusted. The losers are spending anywhere from $30 to $70 to reach a 10,000 views. It's absurd. Gosh, I sure hope so, because I was still on Facebook and my feed was filled with people defending her. I'm like, still? You've got to be kidding me. I had to log off. Please know that I'm not being snarky with any of this. I went from thinking she was guilty to not guilty by reason of insanity. At most, I'd convict her on involuntary manslaughter. That being said, I thought the last two witnesses for the prosecution weren't that great. I found myself wondering what the prosecution, why they didn't call a witness who has a background in PPD or PPP. The last two witnesses weren't as credible to me. When postpartum discussions were brought up, I found Dr. Resnick to be way more credible, and his background felt more credible in the case. I think we're going to see a hung jury. I can't see 12 people making a unanimous decision on this. Dr. Sathoff said he's seen thousands of patients with psychosis. He seems more than qualified to speak on psychosis. Lindsay was 8 months out, so it's a real question if she even meets the timeline to qualify as having postpartum psychosis as opposed to just typical psychosis, as it's extremely rare to develop postpartum psychosis that late. This comment has been made. It can sometimes take up to 6 to 12 to recover. but that's not the time period during which it's most severe. That is generally when the things are improving. So if Lindsay had PPP, an 8-month onset is extremely uncommon, and it's extremely uncommon for women to be experiencing the worst symptoms of PPP at 8 months. So it's been discussed it's much likelier it would have been typical psychosis, not PPP. And when it comes to questioning if she was in psychosis, Sathoff has more than enough experience. Clancy's parents walked out of court Wednesday grinning from ear to ear. Interesting. She wasn't sad on her kids' birthdays, but she was sad on her own birthday. Lindsay Clancy as the face of PPP. Bad feeling she's going to get away with it, somebody said. She's guilty and she should go to jail for life, but I'm worried people nowadays side with criminals all the time. I watch a lot of trials and I see it more and more. This world is very different morally than it was 20 years ago. Before watching this trial. Okay. yeah, I think I'm just going to wait now and see what happens. What happened? Hi, Anna. How are you? Hi, Anna Chapman. Dr. Mack was the very worst witness. He probably got PTSD after... Oh, yeah, probably. Your theory, says Anna, and it could be completely wrong. I think Patrick may have been having an affair. Yeah, it would have come out if he was. I think it really would have. Yeah. I don't think he was. I don't think he was, Anne. I really don't. I don't think so. But... Scooter, where did Scooter go? Not nice. Not nice. But I think, oh my gosh, it's almost 2 a.m. So tomorrow they'll start the jury instructions and closing arguments, and then we'll go on jury watch and see what happens. Right? Right. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Scooter was too scared to come on. But I gotta get my rest because I need my rest. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Those of you that are not members, you might want to become a member, support the channel. We've got like great memberships we have many of them that are less than a cup of coffee. And Scooter's mean. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you. How long jury walk takes? What do you mean the jury walk? I don't know what that means. And then please subscribe, please share, please like. All those things really help. And we'll see you tomorrow. Everybody be well. And see you tomorrow. Love you guys. God bless. Prayers for all that need them. Everybody needs them. So be nice, be kind. And we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, hold on a minute. Let's play an outgoing song. Let's see. We haven't played an outro song. Let's see. What the heck? Oh my goodness. I'm looking for the...
Thank you for spending time with me today. I'm so glad you stayed. From recipes to travel, scraps and faith, from true stories told with respect and grace. Every life honored, every story shared. We walk with love and show we care. You're part of this family, you're never alone. Mommy ramblings, your safe place, your home. With faith in our hearts and hope in all of you, we move forward together, me and you. Kevin, and I'm grateful you're here. Mommy ramblings, where you're known. You're welcome and you belong. I didn't come this far to turn around. I found my voice, I found my sound. I stand my ground, I won't break down. Still standing strong, still here right now. This is my voice. Hear me rise. I was made for more. I won't be quiet. This is my time.